Before we start our show today, let's take a moment of silence for Renee Good and Alex Breddy. Thank you. Well, hello and welcome. I'm Sue Britz.
And I'm Tina Lokkbakk. Welcome to Retired,
the podcast where we talk about what life is like when we put on new tread, new wheels that move us to our next adventure. And today's adventure is really cool. It's awesome, amazing, just so dope, I have to
say. So rad.
Okay, we're talking about slang. This topic came up because I'm listening to people on public media or listening to people out in the real world. And you're like, I don't get it. I don't understand a little chunk of what's going on. A lot of, slang you can pick up by context and kind of figure out. But some of the stuff
that is so sick.
Yes. Yeah, and we're context again makes everything. But there's stuff that's going on in this last year. I'm feeling like last year is the first year that it started getting really weird for me. I mean, some of the stuff like, aura, someone's aura, that's a word that existed, and we understand that it's your, it's your what vibes you're giving off. Vibes we can get to because,
true.
It's a vibration. I was like, that's too phony, the vibes thing, but whatever, that's fine. But things like, bussin', huzz, no gap, rizz, I don't get it.
No,
and
exactly.
And the context doesn't seem to match with it,
Have you heard? I think this is a good example of the importance of seeing facial expression. Because when I first was hearing the word sick, it was because people were smiling in a positive way that I could figure it out. But if it had been written, Sue, no way. No way.
Yeah, well, like, delulu, I get. Okay. Because it sounds like the word delusional, and we know what that means. Okay, so something like, and lock it in, I get that. It means make something secure or whatever. But huzz, what's huzz?
I have no clue.
It's a slang word for an attractive girl or woman. She's so huzz.
Oh, to me, that's like a husband.
Or like a hussy, like back in our day. But this is huzz with the Z's. I don't know. And what's no cap?
There's no end point.
Well, no cap. Right. No cap means truthful or honest.
You're kidding.
It's not a lie.
That is so off.
So you'd say just no cap. This is for God, this is for real. This is true. I don't get the no cap thing. Okay, what about rizz?
Alls I think about is from Greece. And her name was Rizzo, the character. That's all I could get out of it. And you'd have to know her personality. So what is Rizz?
And when you hear Rizz, I'm almost like, did I hear jizz? I mean, ew, no. Rizz is short for charisma. And it's your ability to flirt with somebody or attract other people. Oh, she's got so much Rizz. Or his Rizz is really on right now.
All right. I still go back to Rizzo. We could stretch to there if she had charisma, but yeah.
Well, and then also in 25, I guess the big thing was 6-7, and a lot of teachers it's driven them crazy. And I would never have known what 6-7 is, but that's. Have you heard about 6-7?
No.
Okay, so it's horrible because when teachers are teaching math, especially in elementary school, but I guess even in junior high or high school, someone wants to be silly. You'd say 4.5. They go 6-7. And so the kids just start whenever there's a counting of numbers, they go 6-7, and I don't know where it came from or whatever, but it's out there. But whenever the number 5 comes up, they go 6-7. And and like a chorus of kids apparently do this. I don't know.
Right, which could be fun and annoying after a while. Yeah.
All right. So what is cheeks and buns?
that could refer to the smiling cheeks or the ones you sit on.
Right. So it's your butt, right? So I guess you could infer that it's something of bad quality. Oh man,
Oh, that's a
those
hard one. That's
those
a hard one.
yeah, that car's got some real buns. I mean, I get that's weird. I don't know.
Now, my daughter, who's way into fashion, if we're going down the list, a fit check makes sense because she's like, oh, cute fit.
Okay, see, I didn't know
So-
that one either, but yeah, that's showing off your outfit, a fit check.
Yeah, cute fit. Yeah,
See, I'd be thinking it's like about your Fitbit.
me too. Your fitness level. Let's check out your fitness level. What's your heart rate at?
Okay. And then what about mid? That's so mid?
That makes sense. Because mid is in the middle.
Right,
So
but you need
I could.
you need context.
Context,
Yeah. That's the word of the day, I think, is context. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so to flip it from the 25 and I'm kind of lost and I'm like realizing that a lot of the words I don't relate to. I didn't pick them up in context and get them along the way. Let's just take a road trip to the past, to the 1960s. Were you even born?
68.
Okay, so it counts.
Yeah.
Because it's going to have a little bit of holdover from earlier. But that's the popular slang from the 60s is so far out. It's groovy. All that stuff is so embedded in our culture. I don't say groovy much.
A lot of those are still used,
Yeah.
right? So, but they're still understood, and even by our kids' ages.
Well, like the
I
fuzz.
think they all know it too.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
fuzz. Yeah.
No, that I did not know.
Okay.
No.
Well, that one's
Just
out
the
there.
groupie, far out.
Far out, groovy. Oh, do you have any bread? Yo, man.
Oh, right.
I'm short on bread.
That brings us back to the singer too.
Okay.
Meatloaf. Sorry, he's not bread.
Well, there is
it was Meatloaf.
But there was a group called Bread.
There wasn't
Yes,
there?
there was.
Okay.
Okay.
I was confusing it with Meatloaf.
And she's such a fox. That's still used.
Yes, that's true.
And I use bummer all the time.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. Wow, so there's a lot that we took from then that we still use today.
Yeah, you can dig it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
stuff's still relevant.
That's true.
It's out of sight.
Now, one thing that surprises me is the word tubular, because I thought that was an 80s thing.
I did too, and maybe it just came back because
Ooh, that could be a second round.
and again, tubular makes no sense unless you've got some context. It comes from that surfing slang when you
Yes.
get it. Yeah. But unless you've got some context, that one would be very weird. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Oh, and to say something was such a gas, I thought that was an older one. I thought that was like 40s or 50s,
Oh, and some of it I just assumed was it wasn't that far back at all. It was just in my awareness of vocabulary. I don't know when it hit, probably. I just didn't even know it was old.
So how did you feel when you were like a young kid, maybe elementary school, junior high? I think is really a big time of slang development, where do you remember the feeling that you had when you were like, oh gosh, I'm in. I understand what's going on, even though it's not, direct language, it's slang.
It's funny. I don't see it as a junior high thing, but it probably started then, I think. But my awareness, like when I was prepping for this idea of slang, everything came to me in the 80s and stuck with me from there on through. So for me, it was more like a high school thing.
Okay.
That's when I became most aware. It was high school.
Well, so much of what we learn, it's part of the environment. You just soak it in and you get it without even thinking about it when you're a young kid. But knowing what is going on, and it's not direct language, it feels very righteous,
Yeah, it does. That's very true. That's very true. And I'm going to go back. Well, I don't know where we want to go with this, but the two things that popped into my mind since for me, I was focusing on the 80s so much as my awareness and entry level of this was the Preppy Handbook and Valley Girl, because those were two of my where I got some of the slang from. I remember choosing to glean it.
Okay.
And those were my two sources, because I was way into the preppy look and I loved that Preppy Handbook. And the Valley Girl, I was in love with Nicolas Cage. Oh my God. Mm-hmm.
To me, it was just figuring out that that I could understand what other people are saying. And it's funny how, like, right now, like I said, it kind of hit me this year that I'm not understanding it and I'm not liking it. It's like your words are kind of, I don't really vibe with the words. I remember
Good
really,
job, Sue. Good incorporation.
I'm trying not, when vibe first came out, I really didn't want to even
Good
use the
vibes.
word. Well, see,
Yeah.
good vibes goes back to our time, but vibe,
Yeah, that's true.
It's such a vibe, you know.
I'm not even using it right. You're right.
And
I'm
I
still
don't
stuck
even-
on good vibes.
Well, that's because
Yeah.
that's 70s, that's
Right.
us.
Yeah.
But and so, but I kind of surrendered to that one because it relates back to stuff that we've experienced in life. But 6, 7, I just don't get it. I don't find it funny. It's weird. I don't relate. Huzz. I mean, what is that? I don't. No, I don't need to use that. I don't see us old folk using that.
So this is what I sadly have to bring, which I know you know. Sue, we have hit this side. Because
true.
our parents felt the same about us back in our day. It was the same thing. They couldn't relate. And I think that this is such a perfect concept. After you retire, because I was thinking when I was looking up the slang words, I really was like into the 2000s. And do you know why I realized? Because I was still in touch with young kids through the teaching,
Right.
And then through our own children.
Yep.
And so those words almost resounded more.
Yeah.
Because they were fresher. But then I noticed as I was approaching the 220,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no. And I think it's because we're not in it. We aren't exposed every day. So if we were in it being exposed, I think we'd feel differently about it because it would feel organic. But now we're kind of on the outside looking in, Sue. Let's be honest.
We're kind of square. We're not in the groove. Yeah.
We're not in the groove.
And
it's radical, these words.
It's funny because I want to know, and I think a lot of like kids, as they're growing up, they get their parents' slang, so they use it and it doesn't feel weird. They probably just
Right.
accept it as regular vocabulary, not as slang even. But there is something, fun about being on the in, knowing the in words. But kids get it. I mean, they're still going to boogie, right?
Right.
And they're going to chill or chillax. Chillax I remember my daughter doing chillax, but they say that this word comes from the 70s. So I must have been using chill, or other kids were using chillax.
Never heard chillax. To me, that's the updated version
Yes.
of our old word.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Let's go to the 80s. You called this one.
That's my comfort zone. Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at a list for listeners here, we're looking at a list of words we compiled, or expressions, slang, and all that. What sticks out? What is really fresh for you?
Sadly and funnily, it's
Funnily?
funnily, yes.
That's tubular,
kind of in a
man.
funnel, yeah, tubular. And remember, there was a group called the Tubes. Wasn't it the Tubes too?
I don't remember that, but I only remember tube tops were a thing back then.
Tube tops. That was 70s.
That's
late
so
70s.
bogus, though.
Oh, that's
Barf me with a spoon.
Out with a spoon. Now so Valley Girl.
That's
oh
grody.
My gosh, yes.
Yeah. Gag?
And this was the mistake of trying to pick up on it. Is, do you remember? Like, it was so cool. Like, oh my God. Like, let me tell you. Like, oh my God. Like
All the likes. Yeah.
all the likes. And now I'm probably screwed myself over for the next week trying to eliminate the likes.
Yes.
Because that was so ingrained in. Oh, it's horrible for public speaking.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
Do you remember that? Did you try and wean yourself from that word?
I kind of resisted or did not participate in the Valley Girl stuff. I thought that was too much over the top, So it's the same thing of not wanting to do the vibe thing. I don't want to say the word to be in, and I don't feel the word. I gotta feel it to use it. Like I wouldn't have used the word bitching because back in those days I wouldn't have been cursing. And nowadays I would. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I say dude all the time. Dude and dudette.
I do that too.
Yeah.
There
Veggie
was
out.
one.
Veggie out is a
Yes,
big one.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you remember a lot. It's
Psych.
like, I think my brain. Yes, that's when. But that came with a little meanness.
Bite me.
Hold on, let's go back to psych. Do you remember that?
No, duh.
At least in my. Oh my god. It was like when someone would put like something in your face and you think you were going to get smacked and they go psych.
Yes.
That's how it was, right. It was used with physical interaction, which I did not like.
Yeah.
I did not like
That's
that
true.
at all.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. That was a hand motion involved. And then there's one that's driving me crazy that I don't know if you'll remember. Definitely the 80s. It was like a 3-sentence thing. And it was like, I don't want to be it. I don't want to say it. And then, so it's not it. And that's not even close to what it was, but it was like this lead up. And then it was like an insult. Want to be like you. And then it builds you up and then it slaps you down on the last line.
I don't remember.
You don't remember it. Oh, it was huge in my school. And I just hated it because it was was so mean.
You had
So
a cow
mean.
about it, right? Now, see,
I did.
that's where even our age difference, that makes a big difference, because in the 80s, I was finishing university and then getting married and all that. So I was in a whole different place.
True.
Yeah.
I was still living the young life.
Well, and
yeah.
I like this because that kind of ties me to my sister, who was my little sister, who was still that age. And that's what I was saying. You know, the stuff with slang, it ties you to that generation, and it builds, it's supposed to be subversive language kind of, but it actually
True.
builds these bridges across generations when people use each other's slang.
I just had a beautiful thought. Did it also bring different races and cultures more together?
Well, absolutely.
I wonder, did it help? Yeah.
Well, and then you could say you're appropriating someone else's culture. I mean, that could be taken in a bad way as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's true.
when it's thrown out there into the public, into to TV, radio, music, well, radio doesn't even exist anymore, common usage by so many people, then it is a slang of that time rather than appropriation. It could have been started on appropriation. It's like, do you want to share your special words with just anybody? I don't know. It's so, yeah. That's a good question.
It is a good question.
Shall we move to the 90s?
Let's.
Mm-hmm.
We used to say that a lot to each other when we were teaching. Let's. Do you not remember that? That was an us thing. At least
I don't remember let's.
Oh,
Booyah.
Wow. Let's.
Get jiggy with it. Now that comes exactly with a song, right?
Exactly.
But
yeah.
it's something that's dope or fly or fresh or rad, fat, sick or tight. Those are all the 90s. There's so many words that are superlatives about excellence and excitement and positive things.
Almost more positive.
Yeah, I love it. It's the bomb. All that in a bag of chips. All the bling.
Okay, can we go back to fat? The PHAT.
Uh-huh.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I think that whoever developed that, they put the PH so that it wasn't FAT. And to understand that fat, this is being used almost as the opposite here. So
right, and so maybe it was also taking something that used to have a negative connotation and put it positive. I mean, since we're going into 90s being more positive, that makes sense. As if.
No way.
Whatever.
Talk to the hand. Remember that one?
No.
Oh my gosh. Talk to the hand.
No,
I don't even know where that came
that
from. People, it's like you don't want to carry on the conversation and they're blabbing. People should use that today instead of all the shit they're doing in the street. They say, just talk to the hand. Talk to the hand. And they put it in your face.
Yeah, no, that just made sense to me. Okay, so I get it now. At first I was thinking like when you go to kiss a hand.
No.
But it's not. It's this.
Yes.
It's like the stop sign.
Yeah, talk to the hand.
In other words, right.
Don't want to listen.
Like that.
Yeah. That's what we should bring that one back. Bring that back.
That's what I was thinking. I think I will. I'm going to rebirth this thing. Talk to the hand. Ooh, I love that. But I missed it then. I don't remember ever hearing that.
I remember hearing that. I didn't use it so much. That was another one that was like so. Some of the stuff I just don't relate to, and so I don't want to. I feel like I'm being inauthentic using it. So,
right.
But I do use the word whack, sketch, lame. I use that all the time. I don't.
Lame.
Never did crusty.
I don't know if that's even a politically correct anymore.
Yeah.
Lame.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
I
Whatever.
do.
That was a hard one.
I don't think I've moved beyond that.
See, that whatever
I
was
still throw in a whatever.
Yeah, that one's hard for me to use too. I remember not using it because it felt very
dismissive.
Yeah, but it's so rude. It's almost like using a foul word, so I didn't use that so much.
Ooh, again, that goes into tone. And
Yeah.
it goes into playfulness or not.
My bad.
Oh.
I use that a lot. My bad.
I remember, I think that's when we were teaching together. And so I think maybe.
Oh,
right?
snap. You've remembered something.
I don't remember snap either.
No, it's
I think
oh,
a lot
snap.
of these, I don't think
Oh,
I remember or use them. No. Do you remember those?
Yeah. I didn't use oh, snap, but I did use my bad all the time. Or word. Word. Yeah.
Give me your word.
No, I still say word. You know, when someone's speaking truth and you'd say word.
Oh my gosh. I think, where was I? Was that when I was a stay-at-home mom, perhaps?
I don't know, but
No, we're still in the 90s, right?
yeah, and I use that. So I'm looking at these. I'm still using a lot of the 90s words.
Oh, and I'm not even remembering them. This is what's frightening.
Isn't
My
that-
bad is it. Like,
My bad.
yeah.
Word.
Faux shizzle. That's funny.
That one I don't even know what that is. Never heard that one. Whatever. People do that a
Oh
lot.
my gosh. Can we go to what's the 411? Do you think anybody these days even knows what that would mean? That would be like us not understanding the slang of today.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't even think we have to explain.
Does
this
411
one because
still
I don't think we
exist?
have young. No, I don't think so.
Here, let's
it's
try.
Kind of like the radio. Oh, are you gonna do it?
I'm
All
gonna
right,
do it.
do it.
Let's see if I can do a phone call over top of this. 411. 411. Bizarre. Let's see if this works. Calling.
The service you are calling is not available from this location. If this is an emergency, please dial 911.
El servicio al que llama no se ofrece en este lugar.
Oh,
Si se trata de una emergencia,
wow. That
marque
explains a lot.
911.
Oh, that
doesn't
is
it?
hilarious.
Message
Yeah.
27.
It's
411.
over.
Yeah.
S01 LV.
Oh, and part of me, I just have to say it. So what that was the information number where you could call up and basically get phone numbers for places. And I don't know why I feel the need to have had to explain that, because I thought everybody is going to know what it is, and the young people don't care. They couldn't even, I don't even think they could conceptualize calling to get a phone number.
Yeah, that's so bizarre.
And
Well,
do you remember?
yellow
Hold on.
pages, white
I
pages.
was just going to go there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it would be delivered every year
Oh
on your
my gosh.
doorstep, and you were always
Yes.
excited about it.
to
Or
get
whatever.
the new and improved list, so
Yeah.
you didn't have all the canceled numbers in there.
The first time you got your own phone number and it was listed in there.
But didn't you feel gross when they kept coming when we were so beyond that?
Yeah.
And it made me sad. Like, we have just now killed how many trees
Right.
for this thing that we're getting for free that hardly anyone uses.
Yeah.
And it was just on your property, on your driveway, in a bag.
Yeah,
So now we've like wasted bags for how many millions of people?
it's true.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No.
Well, that was not lit, was it?
No.
No.
All right. So what about cool beans? Did you ever use that one? We're in the 20s.
You know, I think I vaguely remember that one. But
You know who used
again,
that one a lot? I relate that
Who?
the only person I ever knew that used that a lot, that I only heard it
Yeah?
was with our dear friend, our best listener,
Oh,
Ms. Sharon.
yes.
Sharon always
yes,
did cool
Miss
beans.
Sharon, you're
Yeah.
right.
Cool
Maybe
beans.
that's why she's so funny. Yeah.
My
Hats
peeps.
off to you, Sharon. We love you.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
she's one of
that's
our
true.
peeps. She uses that
She's
word too all the
actually one
time.
of the best slangers. She actually used a lot of slang. Always has. She's always been kind of hip that way.
Okay.
Ooh, hip.
Hip.
And it isn't because it's hooray.
All right. So what
It's
about
just hip?
bling? Apparently comes back in the 20s. That's been around for a while though. But what about boo?
Hold on, I got to get back to bling. Bling
Or
makes me
hella.
think of pink, because I think there's a song that's called something about the bling bling.
Yeah. Well,
when
that's
Pink just came out.
So was
I
it the
loved
word? Was it the artist doing it, or was it already in use and the artist used the word? So
I
that's
don't
the
know.
question.
Right.
Whatever.
Which came first. Yeah. And then what was it? A boo.
A
So
boo.
I didn't know what boo was, but I had a little crush on Usher. And so he has a song on one of his albums, Confessions. And it's all about my boo. And if I had not known that song, I wouldn't have known what a boo was.
Yeah. Well, it's again context. You kind of get it. What about the idea? Well, this comes with technology. Photobombing, selfie, metrosexual. That's not. That's more about.
Oh, that's true.
I don't
That's
use.
true.
We use photobombing and selfie because those are things that people do. But yeah, there's not a lot of words in the 2000s that stick to me. Crunk.
So, hold on. I got to get back to the metrosexual. One thing that was really cute that my girls did, it was both their 6th grade year at the elementary schools. They have like a carnival, and both of them did something called a manicure, and it was for the boys to come and get one nail painted. And I just thought that was funny. It just made me think of metrosexual and back into the manicure.
Yeah,
all right,
that would have been their time, that's for sure. So in the 2000s, my daughter was in college, and she did. She hated the word hella. She said that was something that people in SoCal used, and we're in NorCal, you know. So but hella, you know, it was hella good, or whatever.
I
So
kind of remember that too.
she
Not
hated
one of my
it.
favorites. Yeah, I kind of have to. I feel her on that. I get that. Yeah.
Psych. All right, moving to the 2010s. Instead of boo, we've got bae. Now that one, I'm starting to go into. I don't get it. I don't feel it. Doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I get it though. It's just an incorrectly written, then further incorrectly pronounced babe. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, bae.
Yeah. No.
My bae.
Yeah, no, you gotta have babe.
But
yeah.
one of the words that comes up here in the 2010s is adulting. People still use that a lot. And it's because I think that generation needs to learn how to do the adulting. They're realizing that they've got to step up, and they see the difference between being a kid and having to adult. It hits them like a door in the face. I don't know. Adulting comes on very fast.
Wow. Yeah, I have a lot of
I'm
feelings
an old
about the word
person.
adulting. I still use it now, even.
Right.
But I think that I got married very young, and I was in an imbalanced marriage, and therefore my adulting really didn't begin full-fledged until divorce. So sadly, I still really relate to the word adulting, although now I feel like I've adulted.
But it's
I think
really
I've graduated.
right. But it's true adulting, which is different than I think adulting was like, oh gosh, I have to clean up my room. I have to
Yeah,
do the
that's
laundry. I've
true.
got to pay the bills, you know. And you were doing all those things at a very young age.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot sooner than all these people who are complaining about adulting.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I think if you I think adulting's for people who resist growing up, you know, don't want to adult, you know. If you want to adult, you don't even
Gosh,
see
I
it as
think that's
adulting. You
true.
just see it as independence and living on your own and all that.
That's so true. Good little nuance of thought there. Yeah.
But
like
look at this next word, ghost. This
Well,
is something
yes.
that is really. We didn't have to
New.
deal with this stuff. I mean, I think occasionally it was something that maybe someone would have done in the past, but ghosting is a thing, active thing.
to this day.
Yes, and to young kids, I'd say as early as junior high all the way up, you know, as people it's an actual strategy for not interacting with people, I guess, or cutting them off or whatever.
Hold on. At first, I thought this only applies to this new technology we're living in. I thought, no, we still could experience it in even back in the 1800s. If you were writing letters back and forth and then they stopped, that
Right.
could have been ghosting. And then for us, it was a telephone.
Yeah, but it wasn't a thing.
Right.
This is
But
a thing.
I think it's a thing because there's so many ways you can be excluded, which has
Mhm.
kept people out of Instagram, out of TikTok, out of all these personal accounts that we didn't have. It was
Right.
just a phone.
And so immediate too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So within seconds.
Yeah.
You're so right. And then you know it. That's a difference. Like if you and I were back in the 80s and somebody didn't call us back, we would still question like how do they feel about us? But now it's people get onto their account and go, oh my God, they cut me out like within seconds.
Yeah.
And I think that's a difference is that people know when they've been ghosted.
Well, right. And because it's a thing, like think about dating back in our day, if someone ghosted you, I guess, it could happen where someone just stops talking to you, but the cultural norm was that's not what you do. You would maybe
Yeah,
get mad
so
and
true.
angry or whatever, but you wouldn't just stop,
Right.
And there weren't opportunities that just wasn't a cultural norm. And I think it is.
You're so
I
right.
think it's a norm now, and it's a really nasty one. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
All right. What other
Shows
words?
a lack of courage. Hold on.
Absolutely.
Right? And maybe that's our society nowadays.
That's what I'm
With
saying.
all
It's
these-
like,
yes.
yeah, that's part of
Yeah.
the thing is like, this is culture. This is how it's done nowadays. And it's not seen as strange or that unusual. It's negative, but it's not, unusual.
Okay, that ties me into and back to adulting.
Yeah.
So the people that really relate to adulting as doing everyday tasks is like a big deal.
Right.
It's kind of like as mature as adulting. The
Yep.
ghosting is like almost the same level as adulting. All right, moving on.
What about, and then we come in, this is all about cultural stuff. What about being woke? I mean, we're in the middle of this anti-woke,
Ooh, you see it as if we're in the middle of an anti-woke?
well, that's what,
I feel like we
that's
are
what-
awakening.
yeah, but that's the T-rump thing is to,
Right,
it's,
to go
and they've
back.
even used that.
You're
They've
right.
used that
Oh my
term
gosh.
to be
You're right.
anti-woke.
You're
and
right. You anti
to destroy
Wow.
inclusion and equity and all that. And
And for me, I'm looking at woke is so where I'm living
Mm-hmm.
that you're right that it's like wait a minute, you're right. There are anti-wokers.
well, and then there's a giant attack on that right now to the point where
You're right.
they scrubbed
Oh.
the federal websites of all the words,
Right,
including
right.
the word woman. It's
And the them,
It's so
they,
wrong.
and
and it's powerful when you forbid words, just like the word woman. It's a problem. Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, we're just,
Ooh.
but this is part of the of how culture develops. We move forward, we move forward, we move forward. We make advances, and then we have a setback. We just can't let this setback define us and detour us from continuing to move forward. And that's, yeah.
if you choose to take the positive way of looking at things, it's like everything else. Sometimes you go skyrocketing forward, but then you slip, and then you go forward some more and you slip. It's never a direct line. Nothing is ever a direct line. So perhaps we're just we have to slide back to remember that's where we don't want to be and then continue forward. So that's my hope. All right, next one.
What
I'm
about
going to pop into is YOLO. And YOLO is confusing me. It always has, right? And you know why? Why, Sue?
Well,
Why does it
I
confuse
love
me?
YOLO. I think it is you only live once. Okay. And
Uh-huh.
this is the other thing is, first of all, it's an acronym, which is hard. There's a lot of nowadays with all the tech stuff.
So
there's
much.
so much acronyms, but YOLO is really easy for me because I live in that county in
Right.
in California. It's a
Exactly.
Native American term. And I love it. And you only live once. It's true. Live here now, and you gotta slay. You just gotta slay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
word slay, I don't. It's so overused. Ugh.
I think it's dead. I think it's so
No,
overused, it's
there's
dead.
so many people are using it. They're still
Even now?
Yes, and if you look in the 2020s, it's still on the
You know
list.
what? I
It's
guess you're right.
young
Yeah.
people say it all the time, and you're like, okay, yeah.
That's true. They do. They do. I just haven't been exposed so much this last year, but you're right. When I was going to a lot of my younger daughter's concerts and her friends would show up, you're right. I heard it a lot. But because I haven't gone in the last year, yeah.
Okay,
I don't hear it
wrecked
so
and
much.
turned. Those are weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
And yeah, the acronyms, LOL. I think that everyone's got that one.
You know what my favorite one was? And I just remember my oldest daughter having to teach me it, and it was the Flow Vita. Or isn't it LMFAO?
Yeah, or LMAO. And I can't say them fast enough. I keep
LMFAO.
lapping my.
Fucking ass off.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then, well, I like the word epic. I think that one is. I love that.
I still love that
use-
one too.
Yeah,
Right.
It's a
And
good
I
word.
think maybe because
It's an
we're
epic word.
history lovers.
yeah, it's epic.
Yeah.
It is epic. Which brings us to the 2020s, and let's wrap
Woo.
this up. You know,
Oh.
something like brain rot, I totally get. It's not so strange or unusual, but we got that no cap thing. We're bussing. Drip.
None of these
We got
do
drip.
I relate to at all.
She ate. What is that? And then goat. Goat is hard for us because greatest of all time is how they're using it. But in our day, goat was you're the
Scapegoat is
loser.
what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Well, the loser. You're the goat. You lost the game for us. So
Okay, I'm
it's-
kind of sad and embarrassed, but for this entire list, the only one I really know is probably Slay, and maybe it's Giving I've heard recently, but that's it. That's it out of that entire
See,
list
it's
we've got
giving.
in front of us.
I've never heard it's giving. What about
I think
delulu?
that's my youngest daughter. I haven't heard that.
delulu.
used.
Yeah.
It
What about
makes sense.
high key, low key?
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
that's weird.
yeah. Yeah, it's low key boring. Like I've heard that it's low key boring. Yeah, I've heard low key a lot actually.
Low
But
key,
not high
boring.
key.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
some of these I just don't really relate to. I wouldn't grab onto and use every day. But when you start talking about slang, I realize how much you do use slang, and that brings us to like when you're learning another language, it's difficult because you're learning the academic language, but you gotta be up on the slang too. And context, the power of context is everything.
When I first started teaching back in 91, and I taught an ELL, they called it ESL class then, for English language learners.
Right.
And one of the things that it taught me was the importance of teaching swear words and things. Because if you didn't know it, so many people bait those that are learning English into embarrassing situations by teaching them bad words. And I think that that's an important thing. So I don't know, we're not going into slang here, but swearing is kind of a slang, and it too kind of has morphed and changed. And we have our basics, but there are little nuances within it. But I do think I think it's really important to learn slang words to fit into a culture, I'm realizing, as well as swear words.
Yep.
Yeah. On that,
Let's chill.
I can't. I'm so tired today. I can't keep up with your using them properly. It's just not working for me.
It's
So
not your
thank
vibe
you.
right
Thank
now.
you for carrying us. It's not.
It's not your
just
vibe.
not. No.
You're not feeling it. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. Now let's pack up this week's episode in the trunk.
Ride shotgun and be a part of our adventure by clicking on the plus sign to subscribe and follow our show. This will help our ratings and, more importantly, inspire us to keep creating fun and engaging content. We would love to hear from you in the comment sections or email us at retiredpodcastnewtred@gmail.com. Use the fast track lane by sharing episodes with friends, family, and anyone who would like to join us on our road trip through retirement.
Be sure to check the show notes for links and contact information. Retired is chauffeured by Sue Britz and Tina Lokkbakk. It is produced, directed, and edited by me, Sue Britz. Music and graphics are by me, too. Buckle up and tune in next week so that you won't miss your chance to join our retired road trip. Are you gonna go tweaking? You gonna tweak?
No.
Are you thirsty for it?
Or twerking? No.
Oh, what? Do you have brain rot yet?
Yes.
How's your aura? Just
Mild.
chill. Chillax. Just chillax. Foxy mama.
Thank you.
Gnarly. It's so gnarly.